What's up, world? This Graffiti University Comics, yo. Got a great topic today. Today's topic is going to be I don't want to die young. The reason why I bring up this topic, right, mainly because, over the years, right, and mainly this year, a lot of young brothers has been dying from gun violence, a lot of gang violence and a lot of, just beefs with each other. People feel as though they need a gun, to solve the problem. And one of the things that I really want to just really emphasize in this matter is, when I was young, I was the same way. I felt as though, trying to talk it out or trying to work it out was irrelevant, in that I just felt as though using violence or proving a point was through gun violence, and the root of that problem was I had a real anger problem, and in that anger, I didn't know how to channel my anger, so all I did was I knew how to channel it with a gun, with violence, or with fighting with my hands, and instead of proacting, I was always reacting, and the older I got, I began to realize that you can't solve problems with anger. You can't solve problems with with reacting to it. Sometimes you have to stop and take a halt and like really think about before you react to something. You really have to proact to see, to really figure out, do you really want to respond to that matter in a certain way? And in today's world, I think that's what missing from the youth and from from people. Even me, I'm guilty of that. Like we reacting to something instead of thinking about it. But as I continue to live and continue to learn different ways to channel my anger, my reaction, or even my perception of to certain situations. Sometimes I can see a certain situation and think that my interpretation of that situation is right, and then when I hear somebody else's interpretation, they give me another perspective of the situation. So what I'm trying to say is, a lot of times, dealing with life, I learned that my perspective of situations or just life period ain't always the right perspective, and I think that's what's missing from the youth, is where I think the ones who considered like using gun violence to solve their problems between a brother or a sister that look just like them, and I truly believe like some of that has the root of that is self-hatred too, So for me, I just wanted to like share a couple of my experiences, like when I was younger, what I'm saying, I would do drive-bys, I would do things with guns and violence towards my other brothers and sisters, and not even knowing like that was the anger that I needed to learn to channel and put it in another perspective. And some of the things that I learned to do as far as channeling my anger is I use my art as an artist. I use my craft to channel my anger. Like if I got anger or different things in my life that dealing with anger, or not just anger, any emotion that I deal with, I learned to channel it and put it in other areas of my life in a positive perspective. But before I learned to do that, all I knew was violence. All I knew was, I don't know, just self-destruction of my life. So once I learned that was what I was doing, I was able to find solutions to that problem. So what I'm trying to say to y'all is like, sometimes, as an adult, we have to teach the youth how to channel their anger and how to respond to different things in life without violence, because it just senseless, man. Like all these rappers, they dying, because of beef, because of their ego and pride, and that's another thing can kill us. It almost killed me, in the streets. You know, about 25 years ago, you know, I got shot in my head due to gun violence, you know, and a lot of it had to do with me, my ego. A lot of it had to do with my anger, you know, retaliating. Felt as though I needed to prove a point when in actual reality I didn't, you know. So with that message, I just wanted to bring that to you all, and hopefully y'all can get some out of it, you know, learning to live long, you know. 25 years later, I'm still alive, and one thing I learned that in that time period I've been living after the gunshot wound, I realized that if I would have died that young, man, I would have missed the greatest gift of all, and that's living an old age, being able to see the world and see myself blossom into a better person and a better identity of myself, and to be able to put back into the world positivity. You know, with that message, I just wanted y'all to take that message and run with it. Love.